You're listening to the Show Lab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
Yo, you're listening to the Show Lab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig? I am your boy, Maul from Beats. And, man, I have the honor and the privilege to be on the phone with a legend in the game. Like I mentioned last week on the show, he was a part of the Bad Boy production team, the Hitmen. He's one of the original members of the production team, and you have heard definitely some of his stuff between Biggie and the whole Bad Boy team. Just he's been all over the place, and was even dope, man, that we from the same hometown. And I'm honored and privileged to know this brother. We have some transparent, real type of conversations. He put me on game because, you know, all of the conceptions that I had about the industry and the production game, man. He's just been one of those guys to just like give me the real. So I'm honored and privileged to have my brother, no other than Carlos Broady, to the show. What up, bruh?
What's going on, bro? It's an honor and a privilege to be here, my brother.
Man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, bro. We on the show, but you know we talk all the time, and
right.
Yeah, and I, you know, like I said, man, once I had start the show back up, man, I definitely want to get you on it, man, just to be able to share, you know, just some insight from your perspective, you know, and just from your years of being in the business. So before we get into all that, Carlos, I just want you to, for those that may not be familiar with Carlos Broady, if you can just introduce yourself and tell the people who he is.
Okay. First of all, I'm born and raised Memphis, Tennessee, music producer, DJ, used to be a rapper, but I produced some of your favorite hit records from back in the day and to the present, you know. One of the Bad Boy Hitmen, original Hitmen, I like to say. And just, you know, like I've been lucky to produce for an amazing amount of people, you know, some of my favorite artists. Right. So, you know, I don't know if we run it down the list.
Well, give him a little rundown. Give him a little rundown.
Well, I did. First off, I was. My first check came from Biggie and Un with the Little Kim Queen record, and then you know, I did the Puffy's "Can't Nobody Hold Me Down." The Only You remix with Biggie and Mace on Mace at the 24 Hours to Live, and Take What's Yours. I did Nas Project Windows and Small World. And I produced Raekwon and Ghost on Raekwon. I did Yayo on the Immobilarity album on Ghost. Supreme Clientele, I did We Made It in Saturday Night. Noriega, Top of New York, their first single, I believe. India Ari video, I See God in You. And we got, you know, Yo Gotti, Back to the Basic album I was heavily involved with. I did 8 records on that.
Wow.
I used to program for 3-6 Mafia. Fly being one of the records that I programmed on the I believe it was the Most Known Unknown record album. So, you know, Royce 5'9", that's my good friend, good homie, good brother. That Black Savages record he just did, I'm co-producer on that. From the new album he just dropped. So, you know, we get it in there. Of course, with Royce, I did majority of the Death Is Certain. We got like a cult-like following with that album. But I know I forgot a few people, but man, it's so.
Man, I know the list could probably just go on and on. And listen, as you running it down, I didn't realize you did all them joints. Like, man, I'm telling you, man, like all this, you know, all this time, and like, and don't get it twisted. And I don't want people just thinking this, but I've been a fan. Like, remember when we first linked up, I showed you a picture of you in the Scratch magazine. Like, yo, this is one of my favorite articles. So I ain't just saying that. Oh, I've been a fan, but you calling out stuff that I had no clue, bruh. Jesus Christ. Wow.
And it all started with, like I said, the first check came from Biggie, for the Lil Kim record. You know?
Wow.
He didn't want nobody to get that beat, so he, if he couldn't use it, he said he's gonna buy it and use it for his artist. Right.
Wow. Well, man, let me start off by asking this, man. How did you get connected? How did the whole Hitman thing start? How did that even come about?
It came by way of me sending tapes to you're showing your age when you talk about sending tapes out.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I sent out like 5 different beat tapes. My wife gave me the idea to send the 5 beat tapes to 5 different record companies.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody rejected it, and I got a call back from Bad Boy. And my man June hit me up, and he was like, "Yo, this cat, Nasheem gonna hit you because he want to work with you. He like your beats."
Right.
So Nasheem hit me up and was like, "Yo, I like your joints. So send me another tape." And I sent him another tape. And a week later, that next phone call, he was like, "Yo, Big want one of your joints."
Wow.
So me and Nasheem went on to be partners. And he was managing me for a while, but we went on to be production partners. So the Biggie record, the beat that Biggie wanted was the actual Queen beat.
Right.
And by the time I got up there, I guess the way Biggie and Puff's relationship was, Puff was his producer, executive producer. Puff didn't really hear that beat for Big, but like I said, Big was like, "Yo, I'm this beat is crazy. I'm gonna get it and use it on my artist."
Right.
So that's how that came about. My first, actual trip to New York, I had a placement and I had a check when I landed, and I'm walking into Unique Studios and Biggie sitting on the couch, and I'm walking in with my SP1200 about to drop this beat. You know what I mean? It was an amazing experience, amazing feeling of just walking in the studio with your drum machine and you got Notorious B.I.G. sitting on the couch talking about how dope the beat was.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's the start of it. And from there, me and Nasheem would do work, and I would do work at home. And I used to fly to New York like every couple of weeks and fly back to the crib. And in the process, like I said, we formed our partnership and we just started, putting in work. So Nasheem was already down, and that was when the formation of it started. He was telling me Puff was going to start this production team. So it started with Nasheem, Derek, Ron, Stevie.
Right.
Because me and Nasheem had been doing records, and at that same time we did the Capone and Noriega record. That's the jump off of Capone and Noriega.
Right.
And when Puff did that, he was like, okay, because Nasheem used to play the beats for Puff first.
Right.
Right, and get him first right. And if he didn't hear it or didn't like it, we go somewhere else. So that was one of the ones that got away. And when he heard when we was mixing it, he was like, "Yo, like this joint, it's crazy. Y'all giving the beats away for low rates. Y'all charging too low." You know what I mean? So, all right, so that kicked that off. And after that, mixing of that record came out and started to bubble. That's doing the whole East Coast, West Coast madness and all of that, right? So Puff was like, he gonna take a trip to Trinidad. So I get a call one day and Nash is like, "Yo, Puff said I could bring you to Trinidad with us." I'm like, "All right, bet." So we flew to Trinidad. We was there for like 3 weeks, banging out beats. You know what I mean? I think we had like 20. I think I did like 24 beats that he actually liked. You know what I mean? We was banging them out. I remember one morning, I had just left the studio because he would break it up into rooms. Like me and Nasheem have a room, him and Stevie have a room, and Derek and Ron have a room.
Right.
And I remember leaving the room one night, and as soon as my head hit the pillow, somebody was knocking on the door, like, Puff wants you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, what do you want? He's like, yo, I get in the studio. He like, Los, you know, we don't sleep around here, baby. We working. You know what I mean? This ain't no vacation. You know how we do. So, like, he proceeded to tell me the beats that he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So he picked out like 24 beats.
Wow.
And he was like, track them out. You know what I mean? Track them out, get with Nas. You know how I like to track them out. You know, I'm finna fly to L.A. for this Soul Train thing, and Soul Train Awards. And when I come back, you know, we're going to go through them. So, you know, that was the start of it. That's how I came about. So,
right.
Unofficially, this is the real deal. Officially, if you ask Puff, I am a hitman because I was there from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
But contractually, I wasn't signed.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So you'll get it. Like I tell people all the time, Puff say I'm a hitman, I'm a hitman. So
right.
I don't really care about, you know,
what else. Nobody else.
That.
Exactly. Right.
That's his team. So if he say I'm down, I'm down. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I've heard a few things like I wasn't really down. You know, to me that was kind of the thing with the evolution of hip hop thing. But when they had the Hitman on the evolution of hip hop, I was omitted. Or I wasn't invited.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
But they showed my picture. I was on the picture.
Right. Because they even showed it even when y'all went to Trinidad, how y'all was. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. Wow.
And then they played my music too. You know, like the This Bleed, Somebody's Got to Die. What's beef in my downfall are really mine. You know what I mean? This how me and Nas used to do it. If he had the idea and laid the foundation, his name would go first, and if I did, my name would go first. I take the claim to Niggas Bleed in my downfall because those were records that I actually did at my house back in Memphis and brought them to New York. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Nasheem had Somebody's Got to Die when we landed in Trinidad. Biggie had a first verse laid to it already.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you just come in and do your co-production or your addition to it, and that's how we rock. You know, we was rocking like that. We was a true team in that essence. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I tell you, man, it was so much. It was so much in that, man. So much in just in that rundown. Wow, man.
You know, it was a flip side to that story too, brother. You know, I don't know. You know, hey, it's so old, but the flip side of it is one of the reasons I'm not signed is because I chose not to, and the flip side of it was one day in Trinidad, me and Puff was out on the basketball court just shooting jump shots, just messing around, and he proceeded to ask me how did I meet Nasheem, and I said to him, I said to take the bad boy, right? So that didn't go over well.
Wow.
And at that moment, he pretty much dropped the ball and went in the building like, you know, flipping, like screaming, like, yo. Basically, long story short, my tape had got stolen off his desk.
Oh, wow.
Right. So,
wow. So
it got stolen up. So his thing was he didn't get a chance to critique or hear it to choose for himself whether he wanted to, to deal with me.
Because maybe
because like he didn't get a fair shot.
Exactly. That's what I'm about to say. So this could have probably been a whole different take. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Probably.
Yeah.
So at that moment he was like, yo, you know, I want you. I want to manage you. I want you to be down with me, be with my team. You know what I mean? Officially, he was like, "Well, I'm gonna let you make your own choice."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, me and Nas said we was already making records together. So
right.
We had the Queen, top of New York. You know, we was doing it.
Right.
We had a couple more of the records in the works. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna stick with Nas. We're gonna ride it out now.
Wow. So you and Nas y'all had built the friendship at the same time as well.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy, right? Because I believe things happen for a reason. I remember one day and this was after the Trinidad trip. One day I was at Nasha's grandmother's house because I used to go, when I fly up, instead of staying in a hotel, I used to stay at his grandmother's house, sleep on the couch or sleep in his room, right?
Mm-hmm.
We make the beats all day long. We just grind. So, and that's why I tell young folks too, right? Because I had a house at the crib, and the bed in the bedroom, but yet when you trying to get it, you know, you got to go all out to get it. So I'm sleeping on the man's couch miles away in Queens, New York, Jamaica, Queens to be exact.
Right.
So one day, and his grandmother used to cook meals every day, man. Miss Adams used to throw down, so you weren't missing no meals.
Right.
Like, I'm talking about, like, for real meals. So one day she was in the kitchen and the doorbell rang.
Mm-hmm.
And she asked me to get the door. So I go to the door and I see this lady, and I'm looking at this lady like, man, what is she doing here? It was one of my teachers from the 10th grade at the door.
Wow.
And I'm like, what you doing here? She was like, I'm visiting my sister. And I was like, wow.
My
my teacher from Whitehaven, I went to Whitehaven 10th grade. My teacher from Whitehaven.
Me too.
With my man's grandmother, you know what I mean, all the way in Jamaica, New York. It was just so crazy, but that's one of the things that let me know I was in the right place. You know what I mean?
Wow, man, that is crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
I mean, how
crazy.
to even think how that even pay up. Now, she was your teacher at Whitehaven, but she way in New York, talking about I'm visiting my sister. Ah, wow.
Right.
That's crazy. That is crazy, man.
That's some ties.
Yeah, hey, bro, I went to Whitehaven Elementary too. I went to Whitehaven Elementary. Then we moved to Bethel Grove, so I ended up going to Airways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I actually grew up. I grew up in Whitehaven, Blackhaven. So anyway,
right.
Yeah, as I digress, talking about my Memphis days.
Yeah, I did Whitehaven in 10th grade, got kicked out, and ended up graduating at Fairleigh. I'm a Bulldog for life now, so it is what it is.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
Bro. Well, let me ask you this, Carlos, and I guess, man, I'm intrigued now that I'm really, because we've talked, but I think we never really in depth. So now the questions is just running. So
right.
When you was back in Memphis, when you was starting out, did you always knew that you wanted to do more than just the Southern thing? Like, because, looking at it, you would think, okay, well, I would have, me looking at you, I mean, on outside looking in, I would be like, well, man, he would probably connect with DJ Paul, Juicy J and them, and really build that up. Was it always in you to say, you know what, I'm gonna go abroad than just Memphis? Was that always a thing?
You know what? It's a funny story about that.
Mm-hmm.
My style has always been East Coastish,
mm-hmm.
right? Because of the influences that I fell in love with, the Premier, the Pete Rocks, the Emo B, you know what I mean? Those are like my guys.
Right.
But so straight out of high school, I was always like I was DJing
mm-hmm.
in high school, and straight out of high school, the DJing turned into making beats. So as I got better with making beats, the reputation started to grow because I used to do demos at my mom's crib, record, had a little studio, record demos and all of that.
Right.
So I can't remember how. Actually, I do. Little Pat was working at my man Eli Ball, who has Lyric Financial right now. He's
mm-hmm.
in the finance. He was a producer
mm-hmm.
with EMI.
Mm-hmm.
And Eli is the one that had Al Capone and the guy named SMK signed.
Okay.
And the triplet hi-hat thing that everybody's doing, SMK is one of the creators of that.
Mm.
He was from Buffalo, but he was in Memphis, and that's where he planted his flag in Memphis.
Right.
So SMK is him and Al. I believe they did the Lyrical Drive-By. That's how that came about, right? So my man Lil Pat I met him by way of the singing group I was dealing with called PBS at the time, and he invited me to come to the Warehouse Studio. That was the name of Eli's studio.
Mm-hmm.
Right there on Riverside where the houses are. He had this big warehouse, and he had 2 studios in the trunk, and had his label functioning out of it. So there I linked up with Al Capone, and at the time, SMK, Al Capone, Lil Pat, and Gangsta Pat was producing Al.
Mm-hmm.
So Al Capone's very first album, I did some production. I had like 2 beats on it.
Uh-huh.
But me and Gangsta Pat used to argue every day about the way my beat sounded
right.
versus the way everybody else beat sounded. He used to
right.
tell me every day, man, you need to go to New York with that old East Coast. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, right.
so really, after hearing that so much and being in the South, because I wasn't heavy with the 808s back then, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to make it bang, but I didn't incorporate 808s in my music until later on.
Right.
But that's kind of what sparked it, man. Like, hey, okay, maybe I do need to take my music somewhere else because this particular style that they're doing, it doesn't fit that. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I started to seek elsewhere.
Right. And man, it's funny. It's funny when I think about it, Los, because like, even with the hip hop evolution this past season that they did on Memphis, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I thought they did a real good job, of just the whole sound. I
do, but not to interrupt you.
Mm-hmm.
And I disagree.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of influential people they left out, me included.
Now, and see, that's what I was about to say. That's what I was about to drive to that point. But go ahead.
You got to think about it. You talking like I kicked it off in 95, 96, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't omit Al Capone, SMK.
Right.
You just got to. You
right.
know what I mean? DJ Paul and Juicy them. See, we all was around the same time, but we was doing different things.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I was
right.
having a conversation with Juicy J one day. He was telling me he used to listen to my mix segments on 88.5 back in the day. And that bugged me out. Like, yo, you
right,
you
right.
listen to my, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's crazy. But
right.
That's what it was. You got the DJ Squeakies, the DJ Zerks, and DVDs. Like, they left out a lot of people.
Yeah. Even though they had Squeaky in there, but there was more. It was more talking about DJ Spanish Fly, which you know what I'm saying. That the Spanish Fly was definitely a legend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And see, when you mention Spanish Fly, you got to mention Sonny D.
Sonny D, Raider J. You know what I'm saying?
You can't leave now.
Right.
You can't.
Club No Name. Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir. Yeah. So
you got your, and even hell, you got to mention Stan Bell.
Stan the Man Bell. Yes, that's right.
You got so many influential people, and that's just on the DJ side. But when you're talking about producers,
right,
then nobody jump out there like I did.
Right.
And we talking about making platinum records.
Right. And you know what? Even I don't want. Look, for those that want to know, we talking about go see the Netflix documentary. But I just want to say this: something Gangsta Boo said on that. She said that it wasn't Gangsta Boo. It was another chick that was on there. She said she didn't know anything else outside of Memphis music. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
So
and that's how it was.
Yeah, that's how it was. So, you know what I'm saying, for them not to pay homage to you in a sense of taking it out, they definitely missed the mark on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you dealing with the same timelines, right? Like I said, 94, 95, all throughout the 90s. Come on, we was killing it. You can't, but I got to do my own thing to tell the story, right?
Yeah. And
put it in perspective, because the Southern influence, like I used to tell cats all the time, listen, yeah, I know where I am. I'm in New York and this, that, and the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the music y'all sampling comes from Memphis.
Yeah, and so, bruh.
You see what I'm saying?
Bruh.
Like, I always pay homage to RZA because RZA brought that whole catalog to life.
That's right.
With the first 10 of the 36 changes. And, you know, you can go to Cream. Cream is the Charmels.
Right.
It's like that whole sound.
Right.
The Memphis sound.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? And for them not to be able to tie that into some type of documentary to show the evolution of the Memphis music from then to now and the influences. But even before then, guess what, bro? Make the music with your mouth biz. That's Isaac Hayes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, bro.
That's Ice Move.
Right.
So, like, come on, man. We talking about 86.
Yes.
85, 86. We've been in there.
That's right.
In that essence. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And Marley used to stay sampling some Memphis joint.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
yeah. And man,
they
go
they
ahead.
Just didn't put it together right.
Right.
Yeah, you
and I definitely think they definitely missed that, because what I was about to say, man, like, you know, even though Memphis, you know, it's known for the crunk, but it's also known for the musicianship. You know what I'm saying? So you breeding all these different type of producers that are coming out of Memphis because of all this different type of music that we have in Memphis. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, did they mention Jazzy Faye?
No, they didn't.
See?
they didn't. How you not mention Jazzy Faye and his daddy was part of the Barcade?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You missing Jazzy. You miss me. You can fast forward to Drummer Boy. Drummer Boy produced everybody in the freaking world.
Wow. That's right. Right.
He was influenced by his brother Insane Wayne, my man Slice T, Jazzy, and myself. He will tell you we are his biggest influences. You know what I mean? So, like, how do you miss that mark?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
It ain't just about, you know, the mafia. The mafia did their thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then my guys, they still doing their thing. You
right.
know what I mean? But we all was a part of shaping this thing.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing. Like I said, I programmed for 3-6-4 minutes. I know how to rock the 808s and all of that. You know what I mean? I ain't get on the SB 1200 and make an 808 ring for days. Like, that's what we did. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just didn't. That was their style, and it wasn't my style. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, but we can get down because I have to do it to this day. You know, the evolution of what the trap music is, or the trap beats is all about. You know what I mean? We've been doing that since the 90s. Right. So that ain't nothing new. Right.
Yeah, man. Man, you know, and I guess I'm gonna go ahead. Speaking of evolution, just segueing into where we at now musically.
Right.
Man, from your perspective, bro, like, and we've talked about it before, man. It's like, well, let me say this. Let me start the conversation by this. I think there's a misconception of of your producers. I think it's a lack of really knowing what happens after your time. And I hate to say your time, but like, what did you do? What did you do to keep going after the whole Bad Boy thing? Because from like a person like me and whoever may be listening, they may be like, man, he was a part of the Hitmen. Like, you don't get no higher than that. So after that, go ahead.
Yeah. Not to cut you off. After that, you know, and even during that, but see, this is the thing. We was always doing work outside of Bad Boy. You see what I'm saying? So like the Nas records and the Wu-Tang records that I did. So me personally, I did the Wu-Tang, like I did the Raekwon and Ghost records after that. You know what I mean? India RE was after that. Gotti 3-6, all of that was after that. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
Although I've been knowing the Clan members of the Klan since 95, 94. Because a lot of Dark, man, I produced that whole album. Pretty much 90% of that whole album, but I was one of the executive producers because he was signed to me and Tyrese Supreme. He was signed to me and Tyrese's label.
Right.
So he was our artist under the Wu-Tang umbrella, like a Wu-Tang affiliate.
Okay.
So we had the Bird on the album and all of that. So I've been around them cats. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like I said, I always was around certain people, and even before the Bad Boy situation, I was signed to Pete Rock's production company by way of his brother, Ruddy Phillips. Rest in peace.
Okay.
He signed me to Soul Brother #1. So, and Ruddy had me submitting beats for every album. I submitted beats for the first Nas album through Ruddy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I've been around AZ album. He had me sending beats for everything that he run across. He had me sending beats.
Right.
So, Bad Boy was just the thing that kind of kicked it off.
Right.
That got the notoriety, got the hits. Let's just be honest.
Right.
Got the hits.
Right.
Because
Can't Hold Me Down was a smash, cuz.
Yeah, it's a smash.
Jesus.
We celebrated 20 years.
Wow.
Of it. And I always tell people, I'm a real producer.
Mm-hmm.
To me, producer's job is to be in the background. I ain't no artist, so you're not gonna see me all in your cameras and all of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you check the credits, you're gonna see my name. You know what I mean? Like
right.
even with the Kanye record, with the Blood on the Leaves record, cats don't. Only the real people know that I did it. You know what I mean? But you gotta check the credits.
Right.
You know what I mean? You check the credits, you're gonna see my name. I'm on a lot of records that people don't know that I'm on.
Right. Man. So how can I say this? In 2020, how does a producer maintain? You know what I'm saying? How does a producer keep going? You know what I'm saying?
You got to work out, Ma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep them shot. Listen. From see, this is the thing about me, and this is, we talk, and I tell you how I like to teach the kids how to make beats.
Right.
Me and you are just alike because we work on multiple formats and can work on multiple formats.
Right.
And I tell people, I fell in love with the SP1200, but I learned how to work the MPC 60 and the 62 first.
Right.
And then went to the SP1200. Like all my hit records is off of SP1200. The Biggie records, the Can't Nobody Hold Me Down, Only You remix. You know what I mean? Those are SP1200. Top New York, Queens. That's SP1200. So I tell producers, listen, okay, you got Logic, Reason, Pro Tools, all of that. Learn how to make beats in all of them because you could Beat Maker 3. You know what I mean? Cubasing. You know how we rock. So I tell them, and I try to teach them all of them. Ableton, learn them, because you never know. You might be in a situation, you might be on vacation and fall in the studio and they ain't got nothing but Ableton.
Right.
You got to vibe. What you gonna do?
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like I tell cats, I can make beats without a computer. Give me a drum set, a guitar, keyboard. You know what I mean? And
That's right.
Tape, and I'm gonna rock out. I'm gonna do what I do.
That's right.
So I tell producers, man, listen, learn as much as you can, learn as many formats as you can, and figure out the one that works for you. But it's always good to learn different DAWs and formats.
Right.
And always keep your chops up. Even if when the period people didn't hear from me or thought they didn't hear from me, I'm gonna always make beats. In the 07s and all of that, I was making beats on my phone. You know what I'm saying? So
right now, and look, see, I'm thinking about another conversation that we had because even the way technology is, you know what I'm saying, we can use our phones, we can use our iPads. We've had conversations about it, man. But again, man, what is your take? Are you opposed to any of the technology? You know what I'm saying? Because the conversations that I've had, you know what I'm saying, with one of a couple other OG producers, you know what I'm saying, have downplayed you know what I'm saying, the new technology. And I think I don't think when I say downplay, I don't think it's being downplayed out of, maliciously, but just, they
just don't know.
They just don't.
Right?
Yeah, right. And they're accustomed to, a thing. You know what I'm saying? So, I've had the conversation about analog versus digital, and how one is not as good as the other. But what's your spiel on it, bro?
I disagree because we've had this conversation. If you know how to make it knock, whether you're on a computer or MPC or a tape machine,
right,
it's gonna knock.
Right.
Like over the years, we've learned how to, because we came from analog, we can make the digital emulate the analog because we actually had the machines or the actual effects units. We had the units instead of plugins, so we know the ins and outs of it. A lot of records. New records that I've done, like Action Pack AP records that I've done them all on the iPad. The Black Savages record, part of that was done, my portion of it was done on the iPad. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
We was in the studio in Beatmaker 3. We was in the studio. Shout out to Beatmaker 3. We was in the studio. Me, Royce, and he just, I spoke him up. He just called me. I'm going to call him back.
Mm-hmm.
Me, him, and DJ Premier was on FaceTime. And Primo was like, "Yo, Los, what you still on the MP? What you using?" Russ like, "Nah, it's on the iPad." You know what I'm saying? Like he making beats on his iPad.
Oh, yo.
So Primo was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, I still got my MP, but this what I'm on right now." You know
right,
what I mean? So,
right. And now, and from an OG perspective, can you just talk about the portability and just not Beatmaker 3, but just being able to have that type of mobility on the iPad. You know what I'm saying?
You can't beat it. Listen, my combo now, Mars, is my MPC Live and my iPad. That's my combo. I take that everywhere because what the MPC don't have in terms of plugins, I got them on my iPad.
Right.
Now they made it to where you can direct MIDI and all of that. Look, listen, man, hey, that's a killer combo to me.
Man.
Because I could chop samples on the iPad crazy, but can't nobody touch me on MP.
On the MP. Right.
Yeah, I run circles around cats on the MPC.
Right. And man, and the thing is, bro, we live in a world, man, where, you know what I'm saying, we everything is, we want the mobility, you know what I'm saying? Like I was telling you, man, like OG Warren G reached out to me like, "Hey, man, teach me how to use this iPad." I guarantee he's not gonna get rid of the MPC 60. But when you on a plane, your iPad can
can't carry that.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Man, so I think that's one of the main reasons that I try to push the envelope in it, just in regards to the mobility. But it's dope when you got, OG producers like yourself, you know what I'm saying, that uses it, you know what I'm saying, and and speak highly of it. Like, hey man, it ain't taking away, it ain't taking nothing away from what I'm able to do musically. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
Man, listen. I got a couple of kids that I deal with. When you pull out that iPad and you either on GarageBand or Beatmaker and they see how easy it is and how convenient. You used to sitting in the chair in the living room, even on a plane, you got headphones on and you can do everything you need to do. You and I have both mixed records and master records and on the iPad. You know what I mean? So. It's a one-stop shop, and even I've recorded vocals in Beatmaker.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do it. So, man, I do especially like when I do commercials for radio. I do them on the iPad. I do them on the iPad, like voiceovers and all of that. I'm doing it on the iPad, brother. Cubasin, because Cubasin has I like the fact that you can drag it from track to track. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's something that beat maker, we need to get on them about. We need to be able to drag it from track 1 to track 2.
Yeah. Hey, bro, I have talked to them people about it, man. I love Beatmaker, I love the app, but just the community aspect, just the customer service sucks like a mug. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible, man. You know what I'm saying? They got a dope product, but man, just their community relationships is terrible, man. I've been saying that for years. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep saying it until they change it. I hope the powers that be over there listen to this podcast. Y'all suck when it comes to y'all customer service, man. It's ridiculous. But
and don't outsource
it. yeah, right. Please don't do that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, man, Carlos, man. Before we get out of here, bro, just real quick, for the producer that may be saying that want to do this as maybe like a full-time gig, or want to be that next person. What is some advice would you give them? Some real advice.
The realest advice I can give you is it's so easy to get a placement nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could tell you to work hard and perfect your craft and make sure your chops are right. But the best advice I can give young cats is save your money. See, because you're gonna get to the point, like if you stay at it, brother, and you got some talent, you're gonna make it. But the thing is, we not taught financial literacy, I guess.
Wow, man.
And we're not taught that. So when you're making that money at a young age and you don't know to save or put something back, you know what I'm saying, for a rainy day, that can come back and bite you in the ass.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yes,
my advice is, listen, you're going to make the money, but save it, invest it, do something wise with it. Like cars and jewelry, that's going to come and go. They make a new car every day, every year. They got a new model.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're dealing with that with equipment. They making new drum machines and programs every day. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't buy them all.
Right.
So my advice is, man, take that money, put that money up, because when you get my age, I'm in my 40s, you're going to look back and see all of the dumbness you did with your money and wish somebody had told you, yo, take some of that money, put it in savings, or put it in retirement, or do this and that. You know what I mean? That's the best advice I can give you. Put your money up. Don't get caught up in the hype. Be trying to keep up with the Joneses.
I know that's real.
It's easy to make the money, but it's hard to keep. You feel me?
Woo. Man, there you have it. Well, man, bro, I appreciate, man, you coming on to the show, man, and dropping them jewels on us, man. It's not
too, bro.
Yeah, it's not all the time that, you know what I'm saying, you get these kind of, these type of conversations. So I appreciate you, man. And
man, anytime, brother.
Yes, and man, I definitely I'm gonna have to have you back on, man, because you being a producer in your 40s, still working. You know what I'm saying? That's
right.
That I want to be able to just continue to have you on, just to continue to get your take on where we at, the climate of music, man. So
no doubt.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you coming on to the show. And you've been listening to the Show Lab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
You're listening to the Show Lab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig? Yo, you are now in tune with the Show Lab Producer Podcast. Nothing but producer stuff. You dig?